like she jumps up and down when she has. Yeah, baby steps. That's how Mike Bibby used to be back in the day. So I'll start off by saying just proud of our team. These are always really hard games, and just so many emotions. A rival game, which the freshmen don't even know about, so that's probably good. But tough game. They're a good team. They can score. They've been in a lot of games and had chances to win, but they're hard to guard. And you saw that because every end of every quarter we gave up a lot of points. So not too happy with that, but at this point I'm just happy to get a win because wins are really hard to come by. So.
Offensive boards, it seems like there were times they'd get 2 or 3 and eventually they're going to hit a shot.
Yeah.
How big was that?
I mean, so getting offensive rebound, to give up 14 is a lot. And I think that they had some size, but not a tremendous amount of athleticism. So that's a focus thing, and that's a lack of discipline thing, which we've continued to have that problem. So they're probably lucky this time of year we can't work on a lot because we've been working on that every day. But we just have to be better at that. I think the 2 areas that were glaring today that we have to be better in is finishing quarters strong. When we make a big play or we have a great offense, we need to turn around and play great defense. We're celebrating and then giving up a 3 on the other end. Those are young and those are bad mistakes. And then just getting better at finishing the end of quarters because the stats I looked at today, I'm just like, oh, wow. So I think some of that's just immaturity and lack of focus. So we just have to improve in that area.
You had one more assist to turnover.
I know. I'm actually proud of that. Yeah, that's still bad, but it's much better. Yeah.
So you did keep the turnovers down.
Yeah.
How did that all kind of play out for you guys?
Well, important because we didn't have, I don't know what it was at halftime, but did not have, I think we had 3 assists at halftime. So that wasn't good. And just we were living and dying. I think we were, I want to say 2 for 12, maybe? I mean, it was just a really bad stat at halftime. Just taking way too many threes. They were zoning us, but that wasn't working. So when something's not working, you can't continue to do it. Like, that's the definition of insanity. So it said, no, I didn't want threes unless there was ball movement. So it did a better job second half. But still kind of living and dying by the 3 too much. And that's not our strength. And we ended up the game, we shot 18%. So to say that we're going to give up 14 offensive rebounds and shoot 18% from 3 when they zoned us and win, that's pretty tough to win games like that. So we just have to get better. And, it's not an excuse to be young, but our youth shows up in tough situations and under pressure or celebrating from there's a great transition basket. Yeah, it's great, but then you give up a 3. Those are young mistakes you have to show on film and teach. And we did that a lot today.
Like you said, Arizona State came back into the game kind of near the end of some of the quarters, but you guys would always come back out very strong, and even in the middle of the quarters, when ASU would start to go on a run, you would stop them and go on a run of your own. Mm-hmm. How did you kind of stop their momentum and go on runs yourself?
Well, I think just we had some lineups in there that played pretty solid defense. Like Mylene, for example, she wasn't scoring a lot, but she was rebounding, and she was doing really good defensively and giving us energy in that way. I think at times it's been difficult for us to find a combination that can be really effective offensively and defensively. Because if we put more of an offensive lineup, we have a really tough time guarding. We put more defensive lineup in, it's like brutal because we can't score. So I think figuring that balance and finding the combination where it can give us a little bit of both, because scoring is really important. And when we play good offense, we're scoring the ball well. But then you gotta score and get stops. And I think that's where we don't have the best combination for that. And when Brea wasn't scoring in the first half, we have a really hard time. But when we pounded the ball into her in the second half, it was much better. And she finished shots better.
What was different for Brea, do you think? Were they doing anything different, or did she just more confidence and she sees one go through?
I think more confident when you see the ball go through, because I think that's all it is. And then, because if she doesn't make those, we did a great job of pounding it too. I think Isis does a phenomenal job of pounding the ball inside. Isis had like a career high. It's not a career high, but I think it is. But she was happy 5 assists. And then I said, well, you had 10 if Brea made her shots earlier. She kind of laughed. But good job of pounding it inside. I think still feeding the ball to Brea. And then she stuck with it because she was missing a lot. And then sat down, got a little fouls, was frustrated, came back and stayed in the game mentally strong. And that's important because then she made some shots. I don't think she makes that jumper if she wouldn't have made a couple layups. So all those things are confidence. And I'm happy and proud of the way she stuck with it because in the past she would not have been able to do it. And she had 2 shots at halftime. I talked about it, addressed it to the team on how we need to get her the ball, what offense, and then they executed that, and she had 10 shots second half. So she needs to get shots, and she has to be someone that takes some of the most shots on our team because she shoots the highest percentage. So we need to give her the ball.
Hey, Coach, when you look at this team's young potential, what are you most excited about moving forward?
I'm really excited just at their growth and just watching them, how much better they've got from their first year to this year. An example of that would be Brea. She couldn't stay in a game last year. She was constantly in foul trouble and, fouling out, hard time playing defense. Well, she's improved. I think you see stuff like her driving from the high post, her taking turnaround jumpers. Those are things she couldn't do before. Go left, things she couldn't do. Sky, the way that she's under more control. She's not turning the ball over as much. She's jump stopping at the basket. Those are things she didn't do. Jada, more efficient, using certain actions and reading the plays and scoring, distributing the ball better. So those are areas where you see direct improvement. I think Mylene, if you look at her from the beginning of the year, she turned the ball over a lot. Now she takes good care of the ball. She's improved defensively. So I think that everybody's getting better. Tonight it wasn't. I think Lauren did pretty good. Tonight Paulina didn't really have a chance. She only took 2 shots. So we have to find a way to get Paulina, in more and to hit more shots. And I think other people were just kind of playing a little bit better at the time. But we really need Paulina. She's a very, very important piece for what we do, whether she's starting or coming off the bench. And sometimes that might change. But she's who I rely on as a backup point. She's the one that can do it, and she's super steady at it. So we need to get her and Lauren, get them more minutes, and get ways to get Paulina to score more because she's a good scorer too.
Taya, I mean, she didn't score tonight, but her presence was felt out there.
Yeah.
She, with her, what was it, 2 blocks or 2 steals? Actually, it was 2 steals. And she was just always in the mix. And I feel like she's really coming along.
Yeah.
She did shoot and it
Yeah.
worked, but
Yeah.
talk about a little bit about how you're getting her back into that.
Yeah, I think that just continuing to give Taya confidence. We need her to be more aggressive, and I think just more reactive at certain times. Sometimes I think just being a step slower and just not reactive, like the cross-court pass, deflection, grabbing those things, and having a little bit more energy to do that. So just getting her confident. I think she's a freshman. She's been out a long time. She needs time. She needs repetition, and she needs confidence. And so I think that figuring out a way to kind of extract that from her. But it's hard in these games when they're tough situations. But I think as she understands and she has more confidence to be more aggressive, she'll get more minutes because then she's going to be a threat. Because we already know she can defend, she's long, but we need her in there rebounding, getting 50-50 balls, and those things. And she will do it, but it's just getting her to do that thing. She did it one game this year where we all saw she was really aggressive, but we need to give her the confidence to do that all the time. And she's capable of doing that. So, but I think she just has to understand that in her mind, and that's that mental shift. And that's the hard thing about young players. It takes some time to click and that light bulb to come on, but when it comes on, it's special. So hers is flickering sometimes. So we're going to find a way to turn it on. It just takes time.
Skylar was back in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah.
Is there something that you've seen over the last couple of days that impacted the decision, or just more the body of work that she's put together on the bench that kind of impacted?
I think a combination. She's been playing really well the last 5 games. I think she's been really good with her teammates, and that was an important piece of it. And I think she's performed and came in, and she's been, listening, and she's been just trying her hardest, giving 100%. It's not about making shots or playing good or bad. It's not about that. And then honestly, today she was a really good matchup with Brown. She has the athleticism, the length to do it. So for the game, it was a better matchup. But I think her body of work over the last couple weeks has been important. I try not to. You don't want to change all the time, but sometimes a matchup. It just makes sense to, and how she's been playing the last few games. And Paulina just hasn't played well the last few games. It doesn't mean she's not going to, because Paulina's had a great season for us. And she's someone we really need. So sometimes it just makes sense for the time being. And we're still looking for different combinations that work the best together. And sometimes that's been hard to find because we just don't have a lot of depth.
We have to ask about Ja, what's up?
I'm not sure yet. It's time will tell. I'm not discussing exactly what it is because there's some stuff as a coach, like it's just you want to keep in your family, and so I don't know when she'll be back. Hopefully soon. I'm hoping next week, but I'm not that optimistic about next week. But hopefully after a couple weeks.
All
Well, the one thing, so congratulations to Isis on her 500 points. So that's really cool. She's worked really hard for us. And I always talk about how much she's kind of played herself into this role. And I'm just proud of her. And Jada's 7 rebounds career high. I don't know. First of all, she's not supposed to be rebounding, so I don't know how she got those. But hopefully they were all defensive, yeah. But good job on her. And I think playing through like a small injury and just battling all year. And then tonight our fans were tremendous. You know, I always hate doubleheaders because you're like, oh, you know, it takes some fans. But to have 8,300, almost 8,400 fans tonight, it's a season high. It's really good for our ASU game. Even though they had to watch a poor offensive performance overall, but they were here and they were loud, and it makes a big difference. And then I think for our National Women in Sports Day, awesome for Coach Moros' the soccer team to come here and be involved in it, and the men's basketball supporting us is really special because they don't have to do that. And I love the way here at Arizona we all support each other. Like we go to volleyball games, men's basketball, and that makes this place special. And hopefully we'll have some fans that came here. They go get lunch, and then they come back for our game. So, or come back for the men's game. So, yeah. That's all. Okay, cool. Thanks.